up, y'all? My name is Kristin and I'm back with another video. So I wanted to come on and I wanted to talk about how much hair you need for a sew-in, because there is nothing worse than running out of hair in the middle of your sew-in. So this video is going to answer a lot of questions about how much hair you need, if you're just getting tracks, if you are getting a sew-in with a frontal, if you're getting a sew-in with a lace closure, a leave out, even if you are getting a sew-in with a full sew-in with no hair left out, like the beehive. Like, I'm gonna go in. The first thing that you're going to want to take into consideration is the length. All right, the length of hair is going to tell you a lot. So the length is going to be very important. And one thing that you have to understand about bundles, if you're new to bundles, the longer the hair, the shorter the weft. The shorter the hair, the longer the weft. And another thing to take into consideration is head size. Yep, I said it, head size. So some people have larger heads and they might need more hair, and some people have smaller heads and you might look up and you're like, oh, I have a whole bundle left over. Density of the sew-in is going to be a determining factor of how many bundles you need. So how thick or how full do you want the sew-in? How natural do you want it to look? Those are going to be you're going to have to take that into consideration when you're determining how much hair you're going to use, especially for the stylist, because you're going to have a pattern when you're sewing the hair in. A lot of stylists, myself included, we use a pattern, and you're spacing. So you're spacing that hair at a consistent rate throughout the head so that the sew-in can be even, but that is going to determine how much hair you need, because if you're spacing closer together for a fuller look, then you're going to need more hair. If you are having wider spaces for a more natural look, then you won't end up using as much hair. The style is going to also determine how much hair you need, whether you have a frontal or you have a lace closure, or if you have a leave out, or if you're doing a full sew-in, or if you're just getting tracks. So we're going to cover all of that. Bundle size. Bundle size is also a determining factor in how much hair you need. The standard size of a bundle is 3.5 ounces. But there are some companies that have 3.7 ounce bundles and even 4 ounce bundles. But for the purposes of this video, we are going to use a standard 3.5 ounce bundle. Okay, so quality of hair could determine how much hair you need. And I kind of went back and forth on whether I actually wanted to add this into the video or not, because to be honest, I feel like if you have poor quality hair, then you just need to throw the hair away and get some better quality hair. But sometimes when people buy the hair online from a company or a vendor that you've never used before, you might end up with some hair that has a lot of short pieces in the bundles. And what that equates to is that you have really fine, thin ends. So what I was going to say is that you're going to need more hair because the hair is so thin at the end. But on the cool, just throw the hair away. Use it for something else, or cut it. Do a short style with it, because I mean, past those, it's usually the shorter pieces, like right up in here, would be right up in here, and they'll start fraying out. Just cut the hair and use it for something else. Not like if you have a 20 inch and it really stop at 14, just make you a bob. All right, so let's get into it now. How many bundles do you need for a sew-in that is 14 inches or shorter? Now, if you are only getting tracks, you might be able to get away with 1 to 1.5 bundles and add a little bit of length, but tracks are going to be an integrated weave where you're taking the hair apart. You all remember back in the day, we used to part our hair and glue a piece and part it and glue a piece and part it and glue a piece. But If you're getting that hair sewn in, it's the same concept. You're only just parting the hair, sewing a piece in, or micro linking a piece in. Part, add a track, part, add a track, part, add a track. So for that, you would only need about 1 to 1.5 bundles if you are using a 14-inch or shorter. All right. Now, if you have a frontal and you're getting hair that's 14 inches shorter, and for that, you only need about 1.5. I'll say 1.5 to 2 bundles, because that frontal is going to take up a lot of space at the front. All right. So if you have leave out, or if you have a closure, then you're going to need 2 bundles. 2 bundles is going to be just enough if you have 14 inches shorter for a leave out sew in or a closure sew in. And that's pretty standard. 2 bundles, that's enough hair. All right. So if you're getting a full sew in with no leave out, no part, no anything, a beehive method, then you are going to need 3 bundles. Okay. 2 bundles is not going to be enough, because remember, there's no hair left out. So when you get up here in the top, you're going to have to sew a lot closer together to make it look good. Okay. And that'll be just a completely different video if I want to go into how to do a full sew in. But in order to make it look good, you're going to have to add some more hair. You're not going to be able to space it. How you space back here is not how you space up here for a full sew in. So you're going to need 3 bundles for that if you are using, and you know, if you are getting anything shorter than a 14 inch, then I would not recommend getting a full sew in, unless you're getting like a spot sew in or something where you have short tapered on the back and the sides, and you're just getting a little piece in the, you know, like some hair in the top that you're sewing in. But yeah. Options, right? But pretty much if somebody's getting a 14 or 16 inch sew in, full sew in, you need 3 bundles. All right. So 16 to 20 inch, and you want to do tracks, I recommend 2 bundles, and that is going to only be for volume. I want to kind of point something out as far as different reasons why somebody might get extensions. It's either going to be for 1 or 2 reasons. You're either going to get the extensions because you want volume, or you're going to get the extensions because you want length and volume. Let's say somebody's natural hair is up here and they're natural. It's a black girl, she's natural, and she wants to straighten her hair, and she comes with 20 inches of extensions. Now I'm recommending 2 bundles for tracks for 20 inches. Now say that person with the shorter hair, textured thick hair, and you can't put 20 inches of hair in her head. That's gonna look a mess, because it's gonna be a puff here. Even after you flat iron it, it's gonna be thick here, and then it's gonna be thin down here. What I'm saying is, think about somebody that has long thin hair and they're looking for volume. That's where you can add 2 20-inch bundles to that client. So with stylists, you have to look at your client and you have to determine what it is that what will look good on them, because a lot of clients don't know. Now if you have a frontal, then you're going to need 2 to 2.5 bundles. Now I say 2 bundles because we're starting at 16 inches, right? So if you have a frontals are usually 4 by 13 or 6 by 13. So you'll be able to get away with 2 bundles of 16 or 2 bundles of 18 inch hair, to tell the truth. Now if you go 20, then I would stagger the lengths and do a 20, a 18, and a 16, and you're probably not going to use all that 16. So let's say you have leave out or you have a closure, it would be 2.5 to 3 bundles. So I'm gonna break it down as far as, like, if somebody has a 16 inch and you want you have a 16 inch and you have a closure, I would say come with 3 bundles, because I'm probably going to run out of hair with 2 bundles. So So that doesn't mean that I'm going to use all 3 bundles. That don't even mean that I'm going to use 2.5 bundles, but you don't want to run out of hair. A full sew-in, if you're doing a full sew-in and we're going 16 to 20 inches, you're going to need 3 to 3.5 bundles of hair. And it's the exact same, because if I'm getting a 20-inch full sew-in, then I'm going to buy 4 bundles of hair, because if you don't get enough hair, you're going to run out. You're going to run out of hair if you don't have 4 bundles for a 20-inch full sew-in. So now we'll go, how much hair do you need for a 22 to 26 inch sew-in? So if you're just getting tracks, you need 2.5 to 3 bundles. Again, this is only for volume. Now we are talking about somebody who's getting tracks who probably has straight hair, so because of the length, or if it is a black girl, her hair could be just as long. You could have 22 inches of hair, but if you need that volume, a lot of black girls whose hair is that long, they're just going to go into a sew-in. If they feel like their hair is too thin, they're going to go into a protective style. But a white girl who has hair that's that long, she's going to want to go into tracks. So for that purpose, I would go 2.5 to 3 bundles for 22 to 26 inches for tracks. All right. Now, if you are getting a sew-in with a frontal, I would do 3 bundles for 22 to 26 inches. And if you are doing a leave out or a closure, I would do 3.5 to 4 bundles for 22 to 26 inches. And with a full sew-in, I would do 4 to 5 bundles. Now we're talking about 26 inches. So one thing that I would do once we get into 26 is I would recommend my person to get a 26, a 26, like let's say for that full sew-in. Okay, I say get you a 26, a 26, a 24, a 23, and not a 23. Okay, so a 26, 2 26s, a 24, and a 22. And just to make sure, I would get another bundle. I would get a 20. Or you could do a 2 26s, 2 24s, a 22. All right, so now if you are looking for 28 to 32 inch extensions, you want to know how many bundles you need. So if you're just getting tracks, I would not recommend getting tracks this long. I would recommend getting a unit. Okay, if you're going beyond 28 inches or you're going beyond 26 inches, I would just get a unit for your, if you're looking for just volume for your tracks. Because at this point, you're going beyond volume, because ain't nobody walking around here with 32 inch hair that's fine and thin. I would recommend a haircut, or I would recommend a protective style. I would recommend you just do a wig. I would really honestly recommend a haircut. All right, so a frontal, if you are getting a frontal sew-in at 28 to 32 inches, then I would recommend 3.5 bundles. You might be able to get away with 3 bundles, just depending on how big your head is, and you might go to 3.5 bundles, or you might use the whole 4 bundles. It depends on where you get the hair from and how big your head is. All right, if you're doing a leave out or a closure with 32 inch hair, 28 to 32 inch hair, then you're going to need 4.5 to 5 bundles. And if you are getting a full sew-in with 28 to 32 inch hair, then I would not recommend getting that done, because at this point that hair is heavy, that hair is a lot of weight, and we have to think with a full sew-in, that's a lot of pressure on those edges. So I actually would not do it. Like if somebody came to me with 28 inch hair, 32 inch hair, and they wanted a full sew-in, I wouldn't do it. And honestly, I'm gonna go back to 22 to 26 inches. I really wouldn't even do it past probably 22 to 24 inches, because that's a lot of hair. That's a lot of hair 4 bundles. I know that 22 inches is enough hair for 4 bundles of 22 inches is enough hair for a full sew-in. I don't feel like I should go any more than that. Like nobody should have any more than 4 bundles pulling on the edges, and 4 bundles is a lot of weight, because remember, these bundles are 3.5 ounces, and not that all that weight is pulling on the edges, but come on, that weight is pulling on those edges, especially when you shampoo, when you wash your hair, which I hope y'all are washing your sew-in. So yeah, that is pretty much it for today. I appreciate you watching. I hope that you learned something. I hope that I said everything. I wasn't talking too fast or talking around in circles too much to where you don't understand what I said. But if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I will get back with you as soon as I can. And yeah, see you on the next video. Peace.